Hey, my name's Trevor, and in this video we're going to be talking about a few things that you can do to enhance your bass and electric guitars in your mix. In this video, headphones are definitely recommended. We're going to be focusing on a lot of low end in the bass guitar and the stereo field of the electric guitars. We have a bass guitar track right here. We have no plugins on right now, and this is just the dry bass guitar. So the source itself is kind of quiet, but we don't have a lot of low end coming through that bass guitar. And that's where our bass comes in. Our bass will help bring that low end in and add harmonics so that smaller speakers can replicate the sound of the bass. So we are going to turn that on, and we will go ahead and replay with our bass on at -7.5, and we'll play around with that and show the differences that it can make. So you could tell when we were way up in this upper, 15, 16, it was very low end heavy. So we didn't want that much. We're sitting around -7. You can change the frequency that you're affecting. 80 seems to do really well on this bass guitar. And then we also have an output gain if we wanted to gain that back down a little bit. That is our bass. So our bass is going to add a lot of nice low end to your bass guitar. The next plugin that we're going to use in conjunction with our bass is going to be MV2. So MV2 is a low level and a high level compressor. So what's great about it is it's going to bring up those lower, not as audible noises in the bass. If he's playing super light, it'll bring that up. So let me show you what that sounds like here. We'll turn that on, and I'm just going to slowly bring up this low level compression. So you can see right here, when I brought it way up, you can hear a lot of the hiss coming through because there was some noise in the line. So that's going to be the one thing you're going to want to watch out for in this low level compression, is it is going to bring up any line noise that you have. But down in this like 7-ish range, it was really bringing out those quieter notes that he was playing. And we can do the same thing with the high level compression, show you what that sounds like. So again, as you're pulling down, it is going to give you makeup gain. So when we're down in this 14, 15 plus range, it is going to be a lot louder, which is going to also bring up some of that line noise. If we start somewhere right in there, and we bring this guy in around here, let's turn him off, and we'll turn him on during it. So you're going to see how that brings the bass forward. It brings up those lower notes that he's playing. It just amplifies the bass. So now let's bring in our bass going into MV2. Let's go ahead and turn off both, and we'll turn them on halfway through. So you can see how these two plugins drastically increase the presence and the sound of the bass guitar. Okay, so we have one more plugin. It's the CLA bass. Now this plugin is more CPU heavy than the MV2 and the R bass combined. So that's just something to know. It's about 4 times the CPU processing power as R bass and MV2. We loaded the default preset for the bass guitar and we'll play it without and then we'll add it in. So you can hear it does a great job of bringing more presence and bringing that bass guitar more forward. So on this, we have the bass control, which is your lower end, your sub end, treble, compress, sub, distortion, and a stereo spreader. So it's taking your mono signal and stereoifying it basically. Those are 3 plugins that I think are just incredible on a bass guitar. So go ahead and give them a try and see how they work on your bass. Our next thing we're going to talk about is a guitar track. It's a mono guitar track that I double patched. So we have a left and a right, but it is the exact same signal coming through both. So we have the left side and the right side. And then we have them together. So it's a clean guitar, no reverb, no effects, no EQ, nothing, just straight from the guitar to the amp. So if we take our right side and we take a doubler and we enable it, and we turn off the direct sound, and we only have voice 1 enabled, no detune or depth, no added gain, no added EQ, anything. We're literally just using it as a time delay. We are delaying this by 17.5 milliseconds right now. We'll start the track and then we'll add it in, and you'll be able to hear it go from a mono source to feel like it's more spread out. So it's a great way to enhance a mono signal that you're getting from your guitar. Something we can do on top of that is going to be adding a EQ on either side that is a little bit different. So we'll enable those. We'll turn off all the effects, and then we'll turn them back on with the delay and the EQ. It's just a touch different on either side. So you can really hear when I turn off those plugins that it collapses down to a mono signal. So that was splitting one guitar into 2 channels and adding a little delay and some different EQ. So now we have the same guitar source as a mono channel again. And this time we're going to add the CLA guitars plugin. And we can hear how this one plugin can affect the guitar sound. Again, with the CLA plugins, it is a lot heavier on the CPU usage. So just be mindful of that. Guitar again, clean. We're going to play it again, and I'll add in the CLA Guitars plugin. So you can really hear how great this plugin really is. You have control over your low end, treble, compression. You have reverb and delay on this one. It is also taking a 1 in and making it a 2 out, so it's stereoifying it again. You have all the controls right here. The only thing I changed was I pulled down some reverb and delay out of the mix. Other than that is a default setting. So CLA Guitars, great plugin. Next, we're going to talk about is the Renaissance Axe compressor. The Axe compressor is an amazing compressor for any stringed instrument. Guitars, bass, violins, cellos. I've even used it on keyboards before, and it just sounds amazing. It really brings your instrument to the front. So I'll enable this plugin, and I will bring down the threshold as it's playing so you can hear what it is doing. So again, it just brings that guitar way forward. You do have an output gain as well so that you can bring the output down as you're bringing that threshold down, because it is giving you an automatic makeup gain as you add more compression. Yeah, you can just hear how more forward that guitar is. Amazing compressor. The last plugin we're going to talk about is kind of just something to be creative with, and it's Brower Motion. Now, I normally wouldn't use this on a guitar. I have in the past used it on keypads to make them more interesting, but maybe for a special, or if you have a lot of guitars, adding this on one of them might make that guitar mix a little bit more interesting. So what Brower Motion is doing is it's panning left and right as well as around you at the same time. So we will play it and we'll turn it on and you can hear what it's doing. Again, it's like a really cool spatial effect. I wouldn't use it on every guitar in every mix, but it's just something to think about of getting outside the box and getting ideas of different things you can do. This on a keypad is incredible. It just adds so much more movement and depth to a static pad. And I thought trying it on a guitar would be a really cool thing to get some creative ideas. So those are just a few plugins that you can use on bass guitars and electric guitars. And almost all digital consoles do have a delay on the input so that you can use the left and right delay on a guitar on any digital console without having to use a plugin. One thing to remember again is that the CLA plugins are a lot more CPU hungry than the other plugins that I showed in this demonstration. Shout out to Alex for sending me these guitar tracks so that I can make this video today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope this gave you some creative ideas on different things you can do with your bass guitar and your electric guitars. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video so you don't miss out on more audio mixing videos.